Hello, future alien archaeologists. If you wonder what became of either the world of Earth or the world of Gabala, hopefully some of those questions will be answered here tonight. Both worlds stand on a precipice, but let's go into the imaginary one because that's um, way less frustrating than the real one right now. I am kcStranger. I am joined by my three uh, for some reason, the word that comes to mind is sanctimonious players, even though I wouldn't say any of them are. And this is the Crystal Tomb. As always, the Crystal Tomb is brought to you by XSplit Broadcaster and by Tractor Blonda. And yes, I see the chat. Um, and yeah, so we're gonna jump right back in where we were last time. So very brief recap of what happened last time. The party met up with the goblin. They met up with an orc. Some words were exchanged. They met Colleen's childhood friend. I still see you in the chat. Um, there was some debate about whether to accept Colleen's childhood friend's Dweelig, or not childhood, but Colleen's friend from Tindos. There was some debate about whether to accept his offer to go see the Sons of Qual, the Temporals, if you will. Fallon and Kane were against it. Colleen sneaked off with him anyway. Colleen saw some things. The video is posted online if you're curious what Colleen experienced. But she came back seemingly with a rather positive impression of these folks and had herself a nice little debate with Kane. At the end of the day, a tense evening was spent. Not much was settled. In the morning, the party came to the ritual chamber where the creation spirits, Kirill, Lacidel, and Cenarian, along with Kalea, the spirit of the chromatic ring, had basically finished their ritual for summoning the gods. And to pick up right where we were last time. All right, any moment now, Lacidel chimes, and the words have scarcely exited his mouth when a small circular portal flickers into existence, and out of it came Innis. You exchanged some words with her, and as you were about to ask her more, another set of lines started tracing through the air, these of gold and jade filigree, tracing out an intricate organic pattern. Once complete, a man walks through the space in its center, and the lines unwind themselves behind him. He's elven in appearance, but almost as tall as a Goliath. His expression is serene. His clothing weaves bronze plate and brown leather together in an elegant design. Prompt as usual, Carullo, Innes says. And you're early, he responds, sighing. Innes, you know I have trouble taking you seriously in that form. Yep, chimes Innes, beaming, and then her smile falters for a moment, and she says, trying to add some levity to the situation, and she gives sort of a weak smile. The words are hardly out of her mouth when yet another portal opens up to her left. This one, for all appearances, a simple wooden door. The god who steps out is in appearance either a tall halfling or a short human. You have trouble telling, to be honest. Seems to blend features between the two. He's dressed in simple traveling clothes. His hair is curly, and he has a pleasant smile on his face. Hello, Innis, Carullo, he says. Hello, Haval, Innis responds. And thanks for working with me this time. Well, you made sense for once, he responds. Though I do wish you'd apply that energy towards other ends from time to time. There's no chance for Innis to respond before yet another doorway unwinds itself. This one an archway of thorns and vibrantly colored flowers that twists into being. And through that steps a man, actually in the form of a satyr. He wears an open green tunic, dark red hair flows down past his shoulders. and his sly grin is as wicked as the horns that wrap around his head. "Long time no see, everybody," he rumbles. "Hello, Miros," Carullo drones with a sigh. "Hey, you should act more happy to see me. We've had some good times together, after all." Miros responds, a mocking, stricken expression on his face. Carullo starts to say something, but then a familiar fiery portal opens, and through it emerges Alkadir. His blue robes now drape over black armor. The gray of his eyes shines fiercely as he offers a bemused grin to the room. "I didn't say anything, Innes, but I was curious to see so many of my toys gathered in one place last time." In response, Innes simply nods and smiles. Fallon, Alkadir's eyes, you'd notice, linger on you for a moment. You maybe detect a small twinkle.
Fallon slaps the slab where or the wall. This baby can fit so many vestiges.
A small grin creeps across his face, and then he turns back to regard Innes. Let me see. Yes. Okay.
Kind of scared.
The next opening is an archway of gilded stone, and through it steps a tall woman, brown-skinned, dressed in white and gold, powerful seeming, her eyes blazing like the sun. She scans the room, pausing for an extended moment on Alkadir and Miros. "So, here we are gathered once again," she says solemnly. "Ah, don't be so stuffy," Miros growls. "You know I can't stand." But whatever Miros was about to say is interrupted when another portal rends the air, this one seeming to drip with blood and bile. Through it steps a pale woman with fierce red hair, a shimmering dress that seems to change color as the light dances off of it, and golden eyes that seem just a touch too wide. Innes nods as the woman strides forward to find her place, and Miros simply says, "Sheena," and Sheena nods in reply.
Oh, damn, that's Sheena.
Mm-hmm.
She probably doesn't like us.
You can find out. The next door seems carved in alabaster and decorated with vines. It's decorated with murals and runes that you scarcely have time to take in. The woman who walks through is slight, green-haired, fey in appearance, dressed in a robe of blue and a deeper green. She smiles vibrantly, then sours somewhat as she sees the gathered group. "Hello, everyone," she says, almost seeming to pout. "Hello, Zephy," says Innes. "So that just leaves—" "I'm here," says Dravosa, slinking in from the shadows. Seemingly walking towards the circle of gods from nowhere. Fallon, you briefly remember Dravosa from your meeting atop the temple in Vixeth. She's raven-haired, dressed in black leather, her amber eyes gleaming, her lips red and poisonous. "So," she says, looking past her siblings towards Fallon, "you managed to drag me here after all. I never would have thought it."
Shoulder shrug.
At this point, before anyone can say anything else, Innes pipes up. And actually, seeming to straighten herself, and she has sort of an air of formality about her that, on the one hand, makes sense for a god. On the other hand, in the form that she is in, seems slightly comical. She says, "Yes, these brave mortals have accomplished quite a feat. But before we go any further, there are a few things I should explain. First," and Dravosa interrupts at this point, "you're going to explain yourself? That would be a first." Haval replies, "Well, she did explain to me a bit already, and..." "Haval, have you been keeping something from me?" asks Savit. And then Sheena mumbles at this point, Who wouldn't if they don't want a sermon? And the next thing you know, multiple gods start speaking at the same time, and you realize why it took you over half a year of traveling the world to bring the gods together. They don't get along at all. So congratulations, you are now in a room of bickering gods.
Get gods, cause y'all, we kind of brought you all here for a reason.
Yeah, give me a performance.
Y'all could just performance,
Yeah, roll performance.
not persuasion.
They're not listening to you.
Oof.
Or at least they may or may not be listening to you. Dear God.
Oh wait, it's the same anyway. Never mind. It does not matter.
Let me see here. Okay, good. I did up the resolution on my screen capture. Need to make sure I can read that later. Oh, okay. Actually, as you speak up,
Wait, read what?
as you start to speak, Kane, at first they're all talking over you, but actually, Avit seems to notice you, and then Haval, and a moment later, just conversational dynamics. All of them have fallen silent and are now looking directly at you.
This is Kate's time to shine. Hold on, I gotta stop laughing. Okay, if I laugh, it's not Kane, it's me. Okay? Just want to make that clear right now. Alright. Oh, I'm explaining now. Okay, so basically, we brought you guys all here because tentacle creatures are eating everything. And Ennis told us to.
Everyone turns and looks directly at Innis. And she says,
Never mind.
oh no, you can still speak up if you want to.
Oh, can we just kind of like say that Kane summarized everything in Kane's usual fashion? Mostly because I don't remember everything.
Okay, that's fair. Let me see here. In terms of how good of a job you do of this,
Well, I mean, you could say Kane does a good job if you want.
I'll let you roll persuasion for that one.
All right, like this is Kane's way.
Yeah, no, this is the roll for how strong of an impression you make. Oh, okay. Pretty strong impression as you tell your story.
I say stuff like tentacle people in.
They all turn and look towards Innis, and Sheena is the first one to speak. The boy seems to be in earnest. What is this, Innis? And she nods and says, right. I imagine that many of you may have forgotten as I did, but when you hear the name, I believe you'll remember. We are dealing with the Sons of Koal. And there's a moment of heavy silence. Finally, the first voice you hear is Miros as he lets out a long, exasperated sigh and says, I remember. Didn't we... that's what he was saying about the tower and letting them out.
Kane just kind of gives a thumbs up.
Right, Innis says. So, you will no doubt have remembered now that these creatures lie outside our reality and therefore outside our normal perceptions. I, some time ago, identified certain incongruities with, well, the timeline that we're currently on. I realized something was wrong and allowed my memory to be corrupted. And through this, finally, was able to see what I couldn't see before. And I also learned something interesting about those three, and a few others, but these are the three who've made their way here. They are touched by this other existence, and therefore they can do something that we cannot. We can fight the creatures, we can try to imprison them, that's what we did before. But if these ones will cooperate, we can actually restore the timeline. We can move from this reality that we currently exist in to the way things should be. To the world where the country of Anangrun was not overrun with demons. To the world where Tirsa Shadowvale's grandmother did not meet an untimely end. To the world where these creatures not only never broke their way out of that tomb, but where they don't have a toehold in this world in the first place. We need them. She shrugs and says, of course, there is one more piece to the story. There is one other who is not merely touched by that non-existence, but is actually the locus of its foothold in the world. We'll, of course, need something from him as well.
Kane raises his hand.
She looks over at you.
Who's the locust?
Before Innes responds to you, you see Sheena simply turn around and exit the room, heading back towards Tavrit's palace.
Wait.
Is it the goblin?
Innes looks at you, Kane, and says, I'm afraid it's your friend Dweelig.
Do we gotta kill him?
Rather, Colleen's friend. She closes her eyes and says, you've guessed rightly.
So, real quick, Colleen also talked to the things.
Colleen also what?
She talked to the, not the big tentacle creatures, but the more like farmer types.
Innes
The live and let live tentacle creatures.
frowns a
And
bit.
went into darkness and talked to them and then came back. And so if you could take a look at her head.
I seem to be saying this an awful lot, Kane, for a god of knowledge, but I'm actually not familiar with what you're describing.
There's apparently like civilian types of those tentacle creatures that eat everything. That don't eat things. Like the big ones that eat stuff are like the army. And then there's like the non-army. And she went to go talk with some non-army walking around the darkness, but it wasn't apparently darkness for her. I don't know.
Innes frowns and looks over at you, Colleen, and says, there's, what, some kind of society in there?
Well, yes, it's a whole world in between. It's really quite amazing, and I wish everyone could see it.
Innes closes her eyes and then opens them and says, I see. So it's not merely that those creatures are antithetical to our existence. It's that they, well, I imagine there is somewhere every single thing that does not exist here.
They want to replace our reality with theirs.
Innes nods and says, yes, well, I believe that, at least as far as Einangrun is concerned, that's basically done. As you know well, Einangrun is somewhat set off dimensionally from the rest of the world, which affords it no small measure of protection. She looks over at the creation spirits, and I see you've all been doing quite a bit of work to maintain that. She looks back at Colleen and says, the things that are in that reality, I see you, Fallon, lie beyond my perception, but I do know this. There is no way for them to coexist with this world. That is the nature of creation. It is an act of division of the possible, between that which is and that which is not. And for everything that is, other things must not be.
But there's so much about magic that I've learned through our journey that, well, clearly doesn't naturally exist in this world. There are little bits here and there, little ties, but I just don't think we understand it, or in this case, each other. But clearly, the people I've met have no such agenda to destroy us.
Ines nods and says, I can't contradict you. She looks around at her brothers and sisters gathered around her. Look, Colleen, I'll lay out your options for you. At the end of the day, it is the three of you, frankly, who have the choice in this situation, and not us for all our power. That being said, she looks around again. I think that I speak for all of us when I say, and Avit actually speaks up over her, that we are the gods of this world and not that one. And you actually see some apparent sadness on Avit's face, but also conviction. Yep, Kane.
So, kind of not to gloss over Colleen's like decision or whatever. You didn't really give choices, but I assume those are kind of implicit or something. I just said implicit. That hurts my head. What exactly are we supposed to do?
Right. And Innes sort of takes charge of the conversation again. Basically, your choices here are, and actually at this moment, Sheena comes back in from the shadows, and behind her, moving sort of listlessly, are Dweelig and actually Puka as well. Let me sort of rearrange things
God, you're gonna be your dog. No.
God damn it.
to describe the situation a little bit.
Can't stop them.
And it is pretty obvious that Dweelig and Puka are spellbound by Sheena to some extent. Moreover, both of them, the sort of black and purple motes that were roiling off of them before seem to have grown in intensity, almost forming a kind of fog around them. And Sheena takes her place back in the circle and says, "Go on, Innes." And it says, "Right. So, do let me know if you see some other path, but here is what I see as the options." She nods towards Dweelig. "He's the key to all this mess. Undo him, and our world is set aright." She shrugs. "Or we can simply march back in there, like we did so many thousands of years ago, and try to re-imprison those creatures as they were imprisoned before. One day, no doubt, the cycle will repeat itself." Or, she shrugs, "you could take their side." Dravosa actually is the one who speaks. "Oh, come on. What do you have to say?"
So when you, so if we undo, which is a euphemism. Oh, my head, big words. That'll make it so they're like kicked out of our world and can't come back.
Dravosa continues to sort of guide the conversation. "Yeah, my sister was trying to put it gently, but it's the general shape of it is kill him, and we can fix things. They might not go down without a fight, but..." She thinks about it. "Think of it this way. Imagine two ropes that are tied to each other with a knot. So, and imagine the right world crosses it one way and the wrong world crosses it another way. We're looking to get from the path that we're on onto the other one, but in order to do that, we need to cut the knot. He's the knot."
Hold on. You said that you needed us, but you could kill him, right?
Dravosa steps forward, pulls out a knife from her hip, so a wicked-looking curved dagger, and slices down through the air. As her hand gets to the space near Dweelig, the black fog sort of roils up around. Her arm passes clean through, the dagger unmarred. She looks at you and says, "Nope."
Fallon says,
I understand.
Can I see your dagger, please?
That is a very nice dagger.
She looks at you with very narrow eyes, and then a smile creeps up on the corner of her mouth. She saunters towards you
Do it, Fallon.
and
You get to
holds out the dagger in her hand.
forget about Anya.
You said it looks really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a black curved dagger with sort of a gold wrap on the bottom. The blade looks immaculate. It almost seems to glisten as if there was some kind of fluid, let's say oil, glistening on the dagger. Yeah, I mean,
I take it in hand, inspecting it, and I say, "Wow, how much this set you back?"
less than you might think.
Still impressive.
She nods.
So
I turn to Dweelig and I look at Kane and say, "What do you think, Kane?"
I'm leaning towards if it undoes everything that's happened, I'm leaning towards taking out Releg. And I turn my bangles into the blades.
What all terrible things have happened? I'm just trying to remember.
Demon invasion, the capital being destroyed, letting the tentacle creature out in the first place, and all the death that's probably happened since then.
You also learned from Nistia Cantaniel, the High Priestess of Innis, that her village got destroyed, but actually there was a timeline shift that brought it back. But maybe that was a problem? Question mark. Yeah, it was a timeline shift that let the demons loose. Also, Nistia is gone. There's now a new High Priest of Innis for some reason. So,
Lots of weird shit.
and actually, I will go ahead and mention at this point, Innis would be probably willingly sort of walk you through all the various things that she's deduced. How sort of each step of the way it was loosening the seal, basically. It was basically things that either would serve as a distraction from what the Sons of Qual were trying to do, or that would guide more people towards freeing them. Oh, also, do you remember when you were in Westeros, that you fought like a big demon there, and then there was also one of the Ashal who was like controlling it, basically. But then you accepted an offer from what's his face? Why am I not remembering his name? The gnome dude, Corin Melnor.
Coronafad.
Yeah, you accepted an offer from him, and then like all of a sudden she was dead. So that was also, again, loosening the seal, shifting the timeline to one where she was dead.
What if we do this and we go back to the first timeline? What happens to us and everything that we've done up until this point?
Innes closes her eyes and opens them again and says, I can only speculate, Fallon, because, well, even the gods are bound to one reality. But if I were to guess, and I think it's a fairly good guess, I think you'd remain here.
Like, as ourselves? Because the high priest had a lot to say about our past.
She nods and says, yes, I was the one who revealed that to her. In the world as it should be, the three of you are not alive. She thinks for a moment. I don't know if that is an inevitability in that world. It could be that we'd find ourselves on some variation that does include you, especially if you're the ones who take the action to bring us there. She thinks for a moment. To be honest, I've never encountered this situation before.
But we could be killing ourselves by doing this.
She looks at you and says, maybe.
Can
But
you
it
think
would.
it's enough to sacrifice one life, but you're unwilling to give your own?
Let me finish. But the alternative is just putting them back in the box.
Well, I
Casey?
think Dwillig's done nothing wrong.
Wait, Casey?
Deserves no.
I was talking to the gods.
Oh,
I
yeah.
said, but the alternative is putting them back in the box.
Right. They're just
And the
all
whole thing
watching
could
you
happen
talk.
again. Kane looks at Releg, looks at Colleen, and then does the wind strike. the thing I did teleporting on my motion to remove.
I don't understand.
Are you striking, Twilly?
Yeah, I'm doing the thing where I teleport and attack at the same time.
Oh, okay. You're doing that.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't even get to the part where I was going to talk to Colleen about all this yet.
Oh,
Do either of you, Fallon or Colleen, want to attempt to do anything to intervene?
Yes.
wait, can they though? Like I teleport, like
Yeah, I know. I am
But you
imagining.
choreograph your movements.
I am imagining that they're going to get some, like they've been around you for a long time. They're going to see you acting. They're going to have some kind of cue to go off
Alright,
of.
alright.
But first, we'll see if either of them can react. Kane, give me a dexterity check. Fallon and Colleen, give me a dexterity save.
Bullshit. they both rolled high.
Yeah. Okay.
I swear one will be proficient, right? Yeah, Fallon is plus 11. You
Okay.
bastard.
So, Fallon, Colleen, Kane's action is nearly instantaneous. Or actually, no, I'll do it this way. That's fine. Kane's action is nearly instantaneous. You're not going to have time to close the distance between you and him. What you can do is that if there is anything that you could do as a bonus action, you may try to respond. Bonus action or a reaction, not a full action. You don't have time for that.
Let me look in what that would even be.
Colleen, that ability takes 10 minutes to use.
You're right.
Hey, but it's not an action though.
That sounds like something Colleen would still try, though.
I definitely would. Absolutely, I would.
The only thing I'll note is even if you don't have stuff specifically on your character sheet, there are a number of improvised actions that could potentially be fairly quick if you wanted to ask about anything like that.
I'm gonna take this lull to also say BraveShine require more dog tax.
You're trying to kill my best friend and you want a dog tax?
Yes.
Let's quickly grab a rock and throw it at the kid's head. Knock him off.
What is this?
Oh, it's nothing. I was trying to click the button to read it more. They changed the icons, I guess.
Oh, that's an interesting thing.
Can I counterspell his ability? I'm not sure how it works.
Not counterspellable.
So what kind of actions are there? Could I stick my foot out to trip him? I guess he's teleporting, but
no, yeah.
Is it something you're saying I couldn't get to him?
I don't have a lot of bonus actiony things.
Is it yelling Dweelig duck?
You could yell something. That would be a bonus action. Like
okay.
a few words.
I wasn't ready.
Okay. And no.
Well, I mean, what else can I do?
Your action is extremely fast. So
Misty step bonus action. Get in front of him.
That's allowed. Fallon, you doing anything?
Can I hold Colleen back? No, I can't. I don't have any. I have a way to teleport, but it's an action.
All right. Are you just gonna shout something like are you gonna shout Dweelig Duck? Are you gonna shout like wait or something like that?
Yeah. Wait. Can I yell wait? I wasn't ready.
Yeah. You can shout that.
That's what I yell.
Okay. All right. So Colleen, you are just how let me ask this. When you Misty Step, where do you place yourself? Are you behind or to the side of Kane trying to restrain him? Are
No,
you...
directly in front. I will take the full hit.
Well, you would note that my ability to teleport to the person, like,
Yeah, you do. All
so
right.
she would know that. So she would know to go to 3 leg,
Right,
not to
right.
me.
No.
But essentially, same thing happens. I guess is she tries to take the hit.
Yep.
If a Kalim pops up in front of me, can I not kind of like stop myself,
Yeah, yeah.
Casey?
I'm
Or is-
thinking about how this goes.
I rolled 21, so I think
The most dramatic way. But can I get more alcohol first?
Oh, do you need a moment?
Maybe.
alcohol refill in case
All
you
right,
think.
yeah, go for it while I'm
Okay.
thinking then. I'm just thinking
So
about what the most reasonable way is for this to go
Colleen
down.
gets stabbed.
Clean, like hopefully, like she's not surprised, so I'm not gonna kill her
Yeah,
with this.
yeah.
She
All
was
right.
surprised to be fucked, but
What? Oh,
like
okay.
because I get an auto crit and I roll so many dice for this. Like if they fail the save, wait, no, if they fail the save, I don't get the auto crit, but I get the advantage, right? Maybe disability. Always mix it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess
I have
Fallon's concern is not being able to like continue talking to Anya and like losing that relationship. That's the only reason he's hesitating about resetting, because I feel like the tentacle
oh yeah,
creatures have manipulated the shit out of us or whatever through
I
that
found pie.
aboleth problem.
you
It's
got
not
game. You can
alcohol.
start over with that. Also, yeah, that is not alcohol. He lied to us.
I said I
Okay.
found pie.
All right. I figured out how I want to do this. Kane, give me a dex save.
Okay, I'm good at those. Better than Fallon. Only because I got magical
Okay.
items.
All right.
If this hits you, Colleen, don't fail the charisma save. Just don't fail that.
I'm not very good at those.
Well, I get advantage, and you're surprised if you fail it. Well, no, you've acted. Never mind,
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
surprised.
All
You
right.
won't be surprised. You
So,
won't die.
and then one last thing, Colleen, this demands a good amount of precision to put yourself in the right place. This is using your spell casting. So, like spell casting check. So like intelligence with proficiency.
So just like an int save. Unless you
Is
have
there a
like
button for this?
Oh yeah,
a
you can just roll an
saving
you
throw.
can roll an int save. That would work.
Unless you have like a saving throw modifier.
Okay. No matter what the modifier is, that's high enough. Okay. So yeah, Kane, you jump and your strike is extremely quick. But Colleen, you are very queued up by this situation. You see what's happening, you take it in at a glance, and reflexively, you teleport as well. Kane, you notice Colleen get in just as you're about to bring your dagger down.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait.
or bring your weapon down. You can
Can I go around her?
choose to stop.
Like reach around?
So
I,
that
I know what.
right. So that will be, in order to do that. Yeah, with your save, you totally could. But with the interposing, roll an attack with disadvantage.
Just the same thing. Alright. I got it. Wait, why is this 14? Wait, should this be 14 now? Okay, I'm just gonna roll a non-wind strike because I'm supposed to be plus 14, not plus 13.
Okay.
17. So it's not high enough.
All right. Yeah. Let me see here. Once more. So Kane, roll damage. And I'm going to check one last thing.
For my
Colleen.
adventure.
Yep, roll the damage for that.
And I think I'm missing a D4 here. Nope,
Oh.
I got all 5.
Okay.
Never mind. I did remember that. I always forget if I remember stuff. So, like, I'll see it, like, did I remember to do that?
Oh, and I think reasonably you do get sneak attack on this as well, right?
Oh, right. I forgot about sneak attack. It's been so long since I stabbed something.
Because he's not making a save in his current state, so. Okay. Colleen, one last thing. Make one more dex save.
A dex save.
Mm-hmm.
Not good at those. Oh shit.
Okay.
Hey.
So on that, all right. So all that sequence of events. Here is what happens. Kane flashes. Colleen flashes. Kane, you recognize Colleen trying to interpose herself, but you still have your, in mind what you want to do. So you simply reach around the rather small-framed Colleen to attack Dweelig. But she does, in a last desperate attempt, sort of just bump you, basically just sort of throw herself at your arm, and your strike is not quite as strong as it otherwise might be. Nevertheless, it does hit home and makes a cut of medium depth into Dweelig's body. And through that gash, suddenly a roil of this black and purple smoke comes out, flooding the room all around you. You can hardly see each other at this point. Colleen, you feel Dweelig's body and realize that he's still breathing. Just for sake of what happens next, I'm going to ask the 4 of you, including Gamork, to roll initiative.
Kane makes some shit happen. Oh boy, am I gonna roll bottom? Oh, Casey. I forgot to click my token, Casey, but can I still have it?
Oh, yeah.
I never rolled high.
My
Thank
God, I get to roll twice for Fallon though, so let me go back and do the other roll.
Okay.
Hey, get those crit fails out of the way.
So Fallon's a 15, and Gamork is a
tokens.
6.
Yeah, he's a solid 6.
All right.
We're son of Lord of Darkness.
That's not darkness, my friend.
Advanced darkness.
All right.
Fallon, Lord of Dankness. Gamork, son of Lord of Dankness.
One more step before people start doing things. As this smoke roils about you, I need everyone to give me a Constitution save. Fallon has advantage.
Oh, also, I forgot about the fire damage.
Holy shit, I'm rolling great on my saves right now.
Oh,
It's a D4.
I hate these rolls.
okay. Roll the D4, actually. That could...
Oh, why am I first? I gotta be so bad.
Jesus
All right, wait a
Christ.
minute.
Gamork has advantage, right?
You can
Where's that roll?
Woo!
Okay, all right.
I rolled
Yes,
20.
Gamork has advantage. At 7th level, he has advantage on saving throw and see me.
Okay, all right. So all of you succeed on that. So the smoke has a familiar aroma to it, almost like, for anyone who's used Fallon's purple flowers. All right, so that being said, there's a moment everyone is struggling. There's a bit of confusion, but Kane, you're the first to find your feet.
Do I know where Dweeling is? Can we see?
He's still right by you. Colleen is still struggling with you, but you're right there if you want to finish it.
Fallon said he wasn't ready. But I know if I give Clean a chance to cast her fucking magic and shit, It's gonna be a bad time for Kane.
Um,
But it's already happened. It's already happened. Kane's finishing it.
Okay. Make your roll.
And red?
Yep. Roll damage.
see, this is pretty messed up because we've been a pretty moral party most of the time.
Arguably, what
Are
Kane's
we?
doing is moral.
Blue wheel.
Or is it?
I know,
I
but
don't
like
know.
I wanted to have a conversation with Colleen and then stab him.
Well,
Colleen didn't even get to have her like soapbox moment.
I know.
well,
Didn't even get to ask Dweelig what he wanted.
Should Fallon run up and say something like,
Wait,
"You're
how-
not the only one who gets to stab"?
so what happens is Kane slashes one more time, and Dweelig opens his mouth and screams, and the sound seems warped, as if it was coming to you from three separate twisted hallways, almost as if he was more than one person. And then abruptly, it's cut off. All of the smoke in the room seems to gather itself, roil into him, roil into the dog next to him. And there's a sound almost of a great wind and then being sealed off, and a sudden silence, and both of their bodies fall limp on the ground. And you're all left standing there.
I immediately begin reverse entropy. I know it takes a while.
weapons back in the Bengals.
What does the event that do?
That's my time control power.
Which
Wait, you have a time
will-
control power?
Reverses time.
The three creation spirits walk over beside you, Colleen, and they don't lay a hand on you or anything like that. They just stand by. Yeah, Fallon, go ahead.
Fallon says, "Colleen, what are you doing?"
What's right, Fallon?
Which is,
Saving his life.
oh, thank God! I didn't think I'd get to use this deck. I'm kidding.
That'll help.
I'm kidding. But he's like dead, right?
I looked at Ennis. If she brings him back, will that bring the tentacle creatures back? Or prevent us from kicking them out?
Innes opens her mouth to start. You see, she seems to be torn. Like, on the one hand, like, how shall I put this? Kane, give me insight.
Woo! It's a great way to put it. I approve. Inside. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. 19. I rolled less than 10.
At a glance, her expression is serious and almost like tender, but you see a smile that wants to emerge, sort of buried there.
Casey, I don't know how to take that. Like, did we just get played? Did I get played? Did I fall into a trap, Casey?
And
I looked at the other gods, like,
I need you to say this again.
and she says, Not the way I was imagining it would have gone down. But
Colleen wouldn't let me, so I just did it.
but thank, and as she's about to say thank you, Sheena comes up to Dweelig and says, "All right, time we finish this." She holds out her hand. A blob of red and green and black sort of bubbling energy wraps itself around her hand, and unceremoniously she drops it. It falls on Dweelig, engulfs him, seems to burn him, and then
Yes.
For dramatic effect.
it's because I'm partially making it up as I go. I'm sorry. It's both dramatic effect and me desperately thinking.
Must
And-
improvise.
And then you see a blackness well up from within him, gather and engulf that energy, and darkness snaps over the room. You hear a deep, rumbling voice that says, "No." And that's where we end for tonight.
I wanted to have Fallon figure out what Clean was really doing and then say, "Hey, cut that out."
Goodbye, stream.
Bye, stream.